ones. Here we go. We are live. Just gonna do. Welcome everyone to a new episode of the Women's Empowerment Series, and I have a beautiful and a special guest with me, a woman that I love and admire, Traci Connell. Welcome today to this beautiful episode.
Thank you, Dr. Hynd. Thank you for having me today. I'm super excited to be here.
Yeah, me too. And you know what makes me even more excited? It's, presenting women in the designer field, yet doing also mentorship and coaching. That what makes you so unique, because not only you're known in your field, award-winning enterprise and a really a reference in design and architecture, and now you're doing also in the mentorship field. So this is incredible.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I'm excited to share some of the things that I've done over the years and the impact I'm trying to make. So
exactly, and this is what I've done. So please tell me about you. How did it started?
Sure. So what's interesting about my whole journey is that I am a formally trained teacher. And that's what my degree was in when I graduated college. And after about 6 years of teaching, I thought, and a friend of mine said, wouldn't it be really cool to make money at something we love to do? And I was like, well, nobody really does that. So I was staying home with my kids for a little bit. And then I started this hobby of design. Long story short, that was 23 years ago. Wow. And
so you started design as a hobby,
as a hobby. And so because my first priority was being a mom and a good wife, wearing all the hats. And so I would run my business between like 9 and 3. But then it was time to make some real money. So it was either I was going to go back to teaching or I was going to ramp up my design, right? Okay. Yeah. So I decided to ramp up the design, but still it was a second income. Long story short, about 10 or 11 years ago, some personal things happened in my life where I had to make some really hard decisions. It was either I'm going to have to make a living, support my kids as a single mom, in design, or go back and get a teaching job. And I was like, I'm not going back to teaching. I'm going to do this. So I put my heart and soul in growing my firm from, I think I was $154,000 in revenue. And now we're at $4.4 million in revenue.
Wow.
Yeah. So
congratulations.
Thanks.
That's incredible.
Yeah. So
your children must be so proud of you.
And I think they have a little bit of my spirit, of course. But we did it together. It was just like the four of us. And but I knew that for me to do this, I had to really create a system, right? Something I wasn't going to go insane, grow a team, the whole thing. So I dug, studied. And now it's so interesting that I've gone back to my skill set as a teacher. Wow. And I'm teaching, I'm coaching, I'm mentoring interior designers on how to build a very profitable interior design firm from soup to nuts.
This is incredible. And this is, I think it's like a full circle, like the circle of life. I always say you go back to what you wanted to start.
And it's interesting, like transferable skills, right? You just don't ever think you're going to use it again. And then voila.
But nothing get lost though. Yeah. That's the amazing thing. But you probably elevate. You are a much better teacher today than you could have ever been, haven't you, if you haven't done that.
Oh, and I'm so excited and passionate about, because most designers are women.
They are.
Yeah. And so in my groups, there's probably 99% women who really need to be told they can do this too. If I can do it under a very stressful time in my life, I want to help them shortcut the way
Mm.
and give them my secrets and my strategies on how I did it. I just want to share and give back and
What
elevate our industry.
I love that. Elevate the conversation around the way business is being held in your industry. When was the click? When did you feel it? Like, okay, now let me share.
Oh,
Mhm.
that's such a great question. So
Yeah.
my oldest daughter,
Yeah.
um, when she told me she was pregnant with their first baby, and this was about, I guess, a little 2 years ago, a little over 2 years, I cried. And I cried because I was so happy. I was cried because I was surprised, but I cried because I was so in the weeds on my like design firm and so tied into that. And I thought, when am I ever going to see this child that's 3 hours
Mm.
away?
Mm.
And I made the decision right then and there that I'm going to get out of like a lot of the everyday on the design
Yes.
firm
Mm.
and create this scalable model where I have more flexibility, but I'm passionate again about what I do.
I love that.
Mhm.
Incredible. Which means like it was awakening moment to like there is more to life than just being
Absolutely.
stuck in working.
Yeah, and it's interesting because you think about, who you want to serve.
Mhm.
And I have served the general public and our clients for so long.
Mhm.
When I think about I want to serve, my employees here, at the firm, but I really want to serve the design community. And
Mm.
that
I love
is
that.
the
Mm.
goal right now.
Yeah. It's like helping you because you understand them. What did you feel? What's that feeling of giving back to that community came
It's
from?
really just seeing, them making progress. It's seeing them think about money and systems and I guess boundaries and personal like
Mm.
freedom in just a different way, and
Yeah.
teaching them confidence
Mm.
because the more I do this, the more I'm like, I have this new mission to normalize wealth among
Of
interior
course.
designers because
Wow.
a lot of times people are like, oh, you're majoring in interior design, and it's like,
Yeah.
you can't
Yeah.
make a
What for?
living. Yeah, you
Yes.
can't make a living. And I'm here to say, you know what? With proper training and maybe a jump start from a mentor who's done it all, you can shortcut and you can, have enough money, which isn't the only thing, but it opens so many opportunities for you to give back and
Hmm.
to spend time with family and friends. And I think that's the most important.
This is incredible, which means like it's almost you providing something complementary to their studies as a design. So everyone who's doing interior design should definitely check you out. How can they reach you? Whoever is watching us, please let us know where you
Yes, absolutely. So I have
and
a free community and it's called The Gloss, but
yeah,
really what it
I
is,
love that name. I mean,
yeah,
I love that name.
it has nothing to do with nail polish. So
No.
really what it is, it's the ultimate glossary of business resources for interior
Okay.
designers. So it's a glossary, like it's information, it's resources that I'm just really pouring out. But I
Okay.
call it the gloss. So it's called the website is
Okay.
jointhegloss.com.
Okay.
And we have
Join.
a free
I will
free
drop
basic
that.
community. Yeah. So
Okay.
you join for free. I have a paid community and where I teach sophisticated designers who are already in the six figures, but they want to go to 1 million or two
Mhm.
million. That's a year-long program, and I
Mhm.
teach them the whole framework.
Wow. And you
And
teach them your framework or you've extracted that to make it easier and like step by step to others? How
it
did
is
you
step by step. There are 24 master classes. It's
24?
all
Oh.
driven
Mm.
by what has happened in my firm. I mean,
Mhm.
everything has happened to my firm, you know,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
learning from my mistakes and the things that I do really, really well.
Okay.
So it's very actionable. And then there's, we meet weekly on Zoom. And then I love just to help get them to, their solutions quicker.
Excellent. So it's also consultancy for their own
Oh,
business. It's not
sure.
only yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
So they get coaching, mentorship, teaching, but also you
Yeah.
consult them in their
And
helping
a
them.
community. So they can lean on each other as well. So it's fun.
I attended one of your live ones, and I found
Yes.
something very beautiful, which is like how you help them find $10,000 very quickly. I think that is so fascinating, and everybody needs that. Why do you only
I mean,
focus
there's
on the design?
$10,000 hiding in your business. So I give them 21, ways to go and find
21.
it.
That's
That's the
interesting.
very first thing that they do. I know, it's pretty funny. Yeah.
21 ways. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it helps, and they really are able
Oh,
to.
yeah. And then honestly, I tell them one tweak in how they charge, honestly, and how, if they're charging by margin, like one tweak in the process can make them just, more money. And that's what I'm so passionate about telling them, when you let it slide and you give to your clients, you're only taking away from your personal time with your
Wow.
family. And I didn't like that guilt. I had a
Mm.
lot of that guilt and I did not love that. So I don't do it anymore. They're great boundaries we go by.
Oh, that's excellent. Which means like you organize your day, because obviously you're running two businesses now
Yeah.
instead of one, isn't
Yes.
it?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
How do you do that? That's like you creating an empire around you.
Yeah, it's so interesting. I joke, but I don't sleep a lot. I get up very early. Um, and I feel like I'm a serial entrepreneur. My brain just doesn't stop because I'm so passionate about it. I know, I
That's
love it. I
amazing.
love it. And I just want to really at this stage help others.
But that's beautiful the way you say it, because obviously you enjoy working. So working for you is
Yeah.
not something extra. It's just who you are.
Yeah. I
And
know. It's
when
very
did you start feeling that? Is it as you saw the seven figure, or as you decided to teach what you learned?
you know what is so interesting because we, as entrepreneurs, our focus shifts, right? From
Yes.
something that we're super excited about to maybe something else.
Mhm.
And I've done a lot in my business. I've done different revenue streams, the whole thing, but this is one that I think, as I've gotten older, it's going to create a bigger impact
Yes, of
on
course.
people. I love creating wonderful spaces for people to live in. Don't get me wrong. But
Oh, and we love
this,
watching them. You do such a
right?
beautiful things, of
Thank
course.
you. I mean, this changes lives.
Yes.
And I'm
It,
I'm very excited about it.
it changes life, but also whatever the impact you make,
Yeah,
it'll have a ripple effect, because
yeah,
you will impact more people, not
right.
just the one that you're teaching, because they will also learn how to share it, how to tell others.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And that's building a legacy. This is exactly what it is about.
Absolutely. And they're not taught typically in college about
No.
the business side.
Mm.
I mean, there are a lot of creatives in my field. There's a ton of creatives.
Mhm.
When you talk to them about a spreadsheet or looking at your P&L, they just want to crawl under the table.
Mm.
And I mean, I teach those things. I want them comfortable with numbers because we know
Oh,
data drives decisions. I need them to understand that part because
yeah.
it's almost like you can just be like, okay, I'm okay.
Mm.
Right?
Mm.
And not be, it's a hard industry. Every designer wears a lot of hats.
Really? Yeah. It's a hard industry because of competition, or is it a hard industry because they're not valued the way they should be? What do you think?
I think not, I mean, there's a lot of competition,
Mhm.
but if you have your own brand voice, the value on the client side, that is something that's challenging as
Mhm.
well.
Mhm.
So, I mean,
Mhm.
I'm glad you brought that up because I
Yeah.
teach them to communicate their value. That's
Yes.
how you sell these jobs and get larger fees. You have to
Mm.
communicate your value and the service that you're doing for these clients.
Yeah. And when they are not as confident and they should be, they shy away from those conversation.
Right, right. And they'll like, if somebody bounces back and says, I think this is too expensive, then they'll just cut their margin on it and say, okay, well, and I'm like, no,
Um,
yeah,
oh, that's right.
yeah. So
Yeah.
they're giving away, they're just giving away hours, money, settling. They do this
Because they
out of
still
fear.
want the job, but they will just
Yeah,
shrink their
yes,
margin.
yes.
Yeah. Wow, it's hard. But that's, this is incredible, Tracy, because it applies to every field, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And it's the confidence of
Mm,
saying what you're worth.
yeah, it is.
The experience at intellectual property that everybody, every woman in every industry, we have it. We have it.
Yeah.
We're saving them time. We're saving them money. We are the experts in
You
sometimes.
coordinate and you bring beauty in a very beautiful way and
Yeah,
coordinate it.
yeah. But
And
it's
also,
like you said, it's sort of a mindset shift for them
mm,
to understand that about themselves and then go portray it.
yeah. So there is, and it's, I like the way we do the analogy because you work with designer, but this is everybody is the same.
You're right.
Everybody.
Everybody is the same because we get in our head, then we start comparing, right? But
But the only thing is that in your field, whoever wants to, buy new things in the house, they will buy new things. So it's easy to just shrink the margin and just do it for them.
right,
But in other fields, they're like, even if they
right,
shrink, they will not going to get the jobs.
exactly.
Mhm.
And it's a disservice. It's creating boundaries. And that's the part that's sometimes hard to communicate, a little bit
Mhm.
of pushback with the customer, right?
Yes.
Um,
Mm,
that's a little hard,
mm,
but they're learning.
they
It's
learn.
just elevating. What I'm trying to do is just elevate our field of interior
That's
design.
beautiful. I mean, you're doing such a beautiful
Thank
job, and
you.
I admire all the work that you do.
Thank
Uh,
you.
can you share us more through your experience? You talked about being a mom,
Mhm,
having to, work hard.
mhm.
How do you live through that today? Do you feel like, did you get let go of the guilt? It's all fine. They're proud of you now. How do
I
you
mean,
look at that?
I know they're proud of me now. And it was hard going through it.
Yeah.
We were in a situation where I had to get them out of the house. And so there was a divorce, and then there
Mm.
was ultimately the death of their father. That that was the next year.
It
And
was
so
tough.
it was a really tough time. And so
Mm.
they saw me working hard, right?
Mm.
And still trying to be present in their lives, and
Mm.
I know it had an impact on them too, but we're still very close. Um, they turned out to be the most, and I'll probably start crying, you know,
It's okay. You're gonna make me cry with you. It's all right. Let's
sweet,
get it.
driven,
Oh.
considerate children. And, sometimes
Mm.
we think, why me? Why, why am I going through this? I never thought this would happen in my life. But
Yes.
what has
Mm.
happened because of it, I mean, I've been very fortunate.
It made you become the incredible woman you probably didn't think possible.
No. Oh, no, absolutely not. Right? Sometimes when we're stuck and we have struggles, it's not necessarily about the setback, it's about failing forward. And if we
Yes,
think
I
about
love
it
that.
that
And
way, I mean, we all have
yes.
setbacks, no matter what it is. We all
Oh, yeah.
feel stuck.
And we have losses around us, whether
Oh, we
it is
all
people,
have
relationships,
losses and
human. Yeah.
there's so
Mm.
much that happens,
Mm.
right? Where you feel like you have to compartmentalize some of that to
Yeah.
run the business. I got really good at doing that.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Excellent.
I feel
Yeah.
like that
That's
chapter
incredible.
closed. Mhm. Yeah. So
You feel sorry that the chapter is turned.
I'm no,
I'm sorry, didn't you?
I feel like it's definitely turned. And I
Yeah.
feel good about the
Mm.
way that we got through it as a family. Yeah.
And I think thank you for sharing that here because this is like a beautiful inspiration for everyone who's
I'm so
going through
glad.
difficulties or yeah, because often we get stuck into difficulty. We think it's the end of the world, but actually you have such a inner force that is so big you don't know it unless you go through difficult things.
It's
And when
true.
you know it, you can turn around.
And if
Yeah.
you know what your purpose is, I teach that in my group, like you have to understand your purpose and why you're
Mm,
doing it. I didn't have a
mm,
choice. I had to put food on the table for my 3 kids. Like I didn't have a choice. It's just what I had to do. And so it's
yeah.
that fear that happens initially, and the fear drives you. But then you can flip it, right? Into
Yeah.
power and not be
Mm.
fearful anymore to make these big decisions, right, along the
Mm.
way.
Yeah. It starts as a survival mode and
Yes.
then it becomes your strength. Yes.
Yes, yes, and it's amazing, how that works, and having mentors in my life and actually investing in people to help me along the way,
Sure.
was really priceless. I took experiences from a lot of different people and advisors just to create,
Mhm.
my step ladder.
I love what you just said because often people think that we do it all by ourselves, but we don't.
No,
It's you have mentors, you have support system,
right.
and when you know, yeah, and when you know how to use it, then you can strengthen yourself up and become one for
Yes,
others.
yes, yes.
Yes.
Just like what you're
Yeah,
doing for the industry, I love it, and all women.
exactly.
It's, really amazing.
Yeah, and that's what we are doing. And it's such an honor to know you women like you, because I think that's what the world needs more of, is to hear how leaders, female leaders
Right,
rise. They go through things. It
right.
doesn't come like on a
And it's okay to talk about those challenges, right? I mean, it's okay to talk about them. So, oh, I think either I froze or you froze. Oh, let's see if we're back here. Of course, we're live and we're frozen. Oh dear. So let's see if we come back on. Oh darn. I don't know if I'm frozen or she's frozen. Oh my gosh. I hate that. Oh, oh, everyone can see me and hear me. If you guys are still there, I know Dr. Hynd will be back on. I feel bad. I wish people could ask me questions. Um,
sorry. I'm so sorry. You stayed live. I was kicked out. This was the incredible thing. And
oh,
the funny part of it all? It's my son who came to switch off the Wi-Fi because it wasn't working well.
I'm
I'm
like, am I live or you're live or who's
It's
frozen
fine.
here?
And you were stayed on live and where we're back. And I know you have to go, but thank you so much for being
You
with
are
me today.
welcome. I'm
Thank you.
so happy to be here. I admire you so much as well. And thank you
It's the
for
same.
everything you're doing for women as well. So
Thank you too.
you're
Sending you
welcome.
so much
Have a
love
good
and thank
day.
you for being here.
Thank
Hi
you.
everyone. Thank
Bye
you.
bye.